My name is Pasha Palanker. We live in Gaithersburg, Maryland. I served 17 years in the Army before I was forced to medically retire. Did multiple deployments to Iraq and Africa. There were 3 significant incidents that happened to me that continue to have an impact on my life. The first one was in April 2005 when I went face-to-face with a suicide bomber. The second one was I had an IED that blew up directly under me, and that happened in September of 2005. And I come home with a Purple Heart and a Valor Award. It was easy not to think about the stuff that I just went through. I did not think that I had PTSD for the first 5 years of that. Yeah, there's something there, but it's gonna go away until I went back to Iraq. As soon as that ramp on the aircraft opened up and I got hit with the smell, the sounds, I became unzipped and I almost completely fell apart. I was flying on an Osprey, and Osprey there unpressurized. I was coming down from 10,000 feet and it's a combat landing. I couldn't do anything to clear my ear. It was one of the most painful things that I've experienced. We land and I'm like in fetal position. Then the next morning, I wake up and I feel like I have a golf ball inside of my head and they end up sending me home. That was my breaking point. I can't function. Like, I can't be around my wife, I can't be around my kids. Whatever the cumulative impact of these multiple head injuries, it catches up to me. The thing is, when you've been through trauma or head injuries, where everybody wakes up with a glass that's full of water, you wake up permanently with a glass that's half empty. So I would just be by myself, angry, in pain, like numbing my pain through drinking. And that's where suicide was not only real, but it was a logical option. I knew I needed to talk to somebody, so I reached out. I went to Walter Reed. It was in April. They gave me an appointment to see a therapist in June, which then actually got pushed to July. And after an hour and a half of filling paperwork, I had my first appointment, and the second appointment, I just walked out in the middle of it. That therapist was just going through the motions. It was terrible. I couldn't talk to the person. And then when I found out about Headstrong, I filled out a 7-question questionnaire. The next day I got an email. The day after that I had a phone call. 2 days later I was talking to somebody in person. The treatment I received from Headstrong came at a perfect time. Jessica, my Headstrong therapist, she basically held my hand through that period of me coming out of rock bottom. And because of that, she helped to alleviate one of the biggest causes of my self-destructive behavior and allowed me to get back to the person that I used to be, allowed me to become a better father to my children, better husband to my wife. I spent a lot of time inside of my head, and being out in nature, specifically around water, just grounds me. I'm out on the Potomac River and the scenery just puts everything into perspective, and I find myself completely at peace. It just fills me up with gratitude. And one of the things that's simple that I never thought would be that as helpful is I just pick up a pen and paper and I ask myself this question. I'm not feeling well. Something is going on. What could it be? Eventually I get to the bottom of it and I'm able to move on with my life, and I pass through that dark period. Now, when I feel that pain, I heal it instead of numbing it. And that's how my life gets just a little bit better every day. It's absolutely possible to triumph over this trauma. Just 2 years ago, I was completely done, like broken. I couldn't function. My relationships were strained. I started to get some help. These new habits that become a huge part of me in order to live with my trauma opened all kinds of doors and opportunities for me that I never even would have imagined. So now I spend a lot of time speaking in large crowds of people, stuff that I never thought I'd be able to do. I'm a parachute demonstrator. I jump into high-profile events like football games, NASCAR races, and that started because of the trauma that I experienced and learned to overcome.